I'm Dave Brown, His Space Sports. It's where we get together and we talk about good things in life that the Lord's blessed us with. And there's nothing more gratifying. I know when I was supervising sports officials and watching fathers and sons and mothers and daughters officiating together. And officiating has been such a big part of my life. It's something I always wanted to do. Was to sit down and explore the benefits, the negatives, the positives of the family bond in officiating. Today I'm sitting with Travis Butler and his son Austin. I've known these guys for a long time. Father and son duo, and you saw some footage of them out on the basketball court. Travis, I'll start this session off, man, with how does it feel for you to be able to go out there and officiate with your son?
Oh gosh, that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm even doing it now at this point in my career. Just the drives to the games and back home. We have a good time.
Yeah.
We get good quality talks in. And we talk about the game. We talk about other things. We eat out a lot. It's just provided a lot more quality time between me and him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really enjoying it. It's been a blessing.
Austin, you getting a kick out of this thing?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's been a blessing for me because I know most kids my age or even younger than me, even older than me as well, don't get the quality time I get to spend with my dad, and make even more memories than I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
I know he's sacrificed a lot of coming to watch me play for officiating and getting this quality time, getting more bonding experience with him. It's been a real blessing to me.
You know, to grow up without a father, I did. I can only imagine how special it is to not only have a dad growing up, but to have a dad who is out there on the court with you. I've been on the court a lot of nights. But to have your father out there after a bad call, Austin, let's be real, and dad come up and tell you how bad it was or how good it was. But to have him out there, how does that work? You've seen him make bad calls, Travis, so how does it work? How does it work when he needs his father out there on the court, not from an officiating standpoint?
He's always been pretty good about taking instruction for the most part. I've been really blessed with this kid, man. He's been a spectacular kid ever since he was a baby. Just instruction, he just takes it. I mean, he takes it with a grain of salt and, all right, Pops, I got you. And moves on. So, I mean, he changes it, so he does good with that.
The one thing I always noticed was he's a lot better than you are as an official, Travis. We all know that.
Absolutely.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But Travis, when did you notice that Austin? Because I've known a lot of fathers, sons. My son didn't want anything to do with umpiring.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of fathers who when did you know? Hey, he watched you officiate. He's interested. When did that happen? How did that look?
Back when he played middle school, I was doing high school, and when he moved to high school, I kind of shut down off of high school a little bit so I could go see him play. His first year in high school, he played JV, so I was stuck with just doing middle school and some rec ball games and stuff, some travel ball, summer ball stuff, and I would come watch him play. When he got up to varsity, I was able to go do JV games with him. We've talked about it, and I always I want to go see my son play, so I would leave a JV game at Watauga and hustle down to East Burke High School.
Yeah.
Just to get there late to maybe the second half to watch him in the second half of the game.
Yeah.
And I remember showing up here at this school, Freedom High School, one night in that same situation. And I was in my referee uniform.
Yeah.
I got in the car and drove real fast to get here. And we met over in the auxiliary gym. We actually took a picture together, my uniform and him in his basketball uniform. So.
Yeah. Special.
Yeah. So it was a good moment.
So Junebug, I call you Junebug today. So you were a pretty good basketball player in high school.
Yeah.
So the sacrifice that Dad made to come and watch you, when did you begin to realize, hey, this officiating thing might be for me?
I think officiating really became. I became interested in officiating. I think it was towards my college career. Not really high school, but it's definitely more college career because, I mean, as a player, I always hounded referees. Like, that's a foul, ref, that's a foul, ref. But now, when I saw him referee for the first time, when I was off for high school one day, and I went to a high school game, and it gave me a different perspective that referees see the game from than a player does.
Interesting.
So I saw that, and then when I got into college and got older, it got more understanding that it's a different perspective from an official's point of view than it is from players. So when I saw that perspective, and then after I graduated college and after I came back home from playing overseas, I was like, well, I'm really interested in officiating because it keeps me closer to the game. It gives me a chance to more bonding time with my dad, and it gives me a different perspective of the game.
Man, that's special.
And I think that's the main reason why I love refereeing, because it gives me that different perspective of being a player and actually officiating a game. The different angles I have to look at the game from, and rather just watching the ball go through the hoop, I can actually watch the players.
Yeah. So that's a good segue to a question for Dad over here. Negatives and positives. Look, officiating takes a lot. We talked about spirituality a little bit, you guys, and people of faith. People, I don't think the public understands what officiating takes from a human being, the time commitment. So let's talk about the negatives and the positives from a standpoint of raising a family, having a job, a real job, the sacrifices and the benefits. Let's talk to Pop here, man.
Try to stay positive all the time. There are negatives to everything, of course, but you always want to try to stay positive and try to stay focused. And it's like I tell him, if we're going to a game and he's like, oh man, I really don't like this coach or something like that. Well, look, be positive. It's a new game. Let's go in here and let's focus and treat this game like any other game, and just stay on top of things. Like I say, positives is just being around my son. I texted the assigner, the coordinator, Liz, here about a couple weeks ago because she got a little off track of separating me and him. And I was like, hey, I want to be with Austin. Not only is he my favorite referee, but he's my son. I want to be with him. We can ride together, save gas. But negatives, I don't know. Being 50 years old, turning on those fast brakes and them knees start popping, and I about fell into the bench out here just a little bit ago because something where I was like, just hurting. Go home, me and him sit beside each other in the recliner with ice packs on our knees every night. So,
so glad we could highlight the negatives and positives. And he made a comment, Junebug. He said, sometimes he said, this coach really doesn't like me. I want to make sure that everybody understands that's watching this, that we're humans. Officials are human. Coaches are human. And I tell a lot of my officials in supervision, and I tell players, treat officials like people. Treat coaches like people. And so when you find that coach, and this is something for you, when you find that coach, hey, that guy doesn't like me, go up. First thing you do tonight, hey man, how's your day been? And that's what we want in return. So the negatives and positives for you, what are they, Austin?
My positives are basically the same as them. I try to keep a positive attitude, but that player instinct always kicks back in every once in a while, and I tend to hold a grudge towards a certain school, and he always has to keep me on track and keep reminding me. That's a good thing about repping my dad. He always keeps me on track. But the negatives is probably definitely having to leave work early most days, and having to drive an hour and 5 minutes up the road or up the mountain in freezing cold weather, rain, don't really matter. There's going to be a game going on, but having to leave work early away from the kids that I have to deal with, especially with my job. Like I deal with kids with autism and kids with different things wrong with them. And just the time with them, it means a lot to them as much as it does to me. So that time spent away from them, that can really benefit their lives moving forward in the future. It takes it away from them when I have to leave early.
So again, you're segueing me really good today, because you guys have lives, you have jobs, and what you just laid out for me is, so I'm leaving these kids who really appreciate what I'm doing, and I really appreciate doing it, to go up the road and get yelled at, to maybe get a bottle of water and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and to get talked about, cussed at. And so it's a balance. It's just like it is with being a police officer. Tell us about the balance on your end,
Man,
Travis.
I'm glad I got a sweet wife.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time I hear any sweetness in my life.
Yeah.
At work, my second job, officiating. I mean, I get yelled at a lot, Dave. I probably get yelled at more than most officials.
Yeah.
He definitely comes home with a different story every single day. That's for sure.
Yeah. Join us next week for part 2 of Officiating Legacy with Travis and Austin Butler as we explore their faith, their favorite scriptures, the pros and cons of raising an officiating prodigy, here on His Space Sports.
There was a time when I was on the